Hey guys, um, today's topic I've been meaning to discuss is communication. My husband and I have been struggling with that a lot lately. And I don't know if it's the deployment or if separation, I guess. I I don't know. Austin and I are kind of at a rough patch right now. I mean, he doesn't act like it. He really doesn't. But but in truth, we are we are in a major rough patch. Now, he's been lacking a lot of communication lately. He would leave me on red for hours and hours at a time, or when we're in a phone call and I'm just babbling on with something, he doesn't say anything. Like, just like last night, I was talking to him on the phone. We talked on the phone for like a little over 3 hours. And in the last half hour of our conversation last night, I was talking about something, and then he didn't respond to it. I had to ask him numerous times, I'm like, are you listening to anything I say? And he claims he is. I mean, all people respond differently, but this is not like him. Like, every time I say something, he ignores it, and I'm like, are you actually listening to me? And he's like, yes. And then I say, why aren't you saying anything then? And he still ignored me and avoided the question on that one. So, some communication right there. He doesn't tell me anything. I mean, with me, it's the same routine every single day. It's so repetitive, it's just grown on me. Get up, get dressed, do what I need to do before I leave, and then I leave for work, and then I actually go to work for either 5.5 hours or 8 hours. And then after I get off work, I anxiously wait for a text from him. But if I don't get anything, I just go to sleep and then repeat the next day. But sometimes when he actually wants to talk, he will call me at 2:30 in the morning for no apparent reason. And then I'm like groggy, so I get a little irritated because he called me at 2:30 in the morning here. I understand our time difference is 14 hours, but he needs to ask me first before he makes the decision. Or every time I ask him what he's doing, he's like, "Oh, my computer playing Wizard 101 or whatever that recon game he plays and all that stuff." Like, okay. And that's all I say on the text. And then he leaves me on red again. Now, like I said, I do understand that it's a 14-hour difference. But there is no excuse for him to at least not check up on me. Like, I check up on him every single freaking day. And what does he do? Nothing. He just sits on his ass all day long and not even move his room. Not even take one step out of the room. I know he's off every weekend and he's sleeping in. I completely understand on that one. But it kind of hurts me that I don't even get a hear back from him. Like, he's been extremely cocky lately. More than he usually is. Like, it's kind of hard to understand, but I even pointed out to him, I said, you've been extremely cocky lately, and I wasn't joking. Like, I was actually being serious. And he made it seem like it was a joke. Which, I don't know what's up with him on that one. I honestly don't know if that is part of the separation with the distance and everything. I don't know. I honestly don't know a lot about him anymore. He's honestly not the Austin that I fell in love with almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years next month, August 13th. I mean, it's kind of a new milestone for me because I haven't been in this long of a relationship for a very, very long time. Let alone did I think I was ever going to get married, and I got married at a young age. Me and him both did. He got married at 20 and I got married at 19. Just like a little bit over 6 months shy of my 20th birthday. I'm not saying that I don't want this marriage to last. I want it to last as long as possible. But the way he's acting is honestly unacceptable. He's become more of an asshole that I just can't tolerate it. I love him more than anything. Don't get me wrong. But it's just the way he's acting is what's pissing me off. Like, I'm doing everything I can to, for one, get all of my paperwork done, and then scheduling all of my doctor's appointments. And now that's going to be a royal pain in the butt because I'm not going to fill out any paperwork until I get all my doctor's appointments done. So, with that in mind, communication is key for a relationship. I mean, Austin has not necessarily been a good at communication to begin with, but he was a lot better back then than he is now. And yeah, I know I understand that he works 5 days a week, 12 hours a day. But that does not give an excuse for him not to at least check up on me, see how I'm doing, and if everything's going alright and all that stuff. He doesn't ask me that anymore. He used to. But not anymore. There's literally something about him that's changing, and I don't know what it is. Like, I sent him a long paragraph the other day, and I get a 3-word response. Yeah, I know. That set me off. I was pissed. I would have expected him to say something long back. And then I only talked to him by phone, like literally on the phone, not texting, but like calling on the phone. I usually just hear from him at least one time a week, if I'm lucky too. This week I was lucky to have 2. Last week, it was only 1 time. I don't get to hear from him much anymore. Sometimes he would call me on Facebook Messenger, and sometimes he'd call me on Skype. Yes, some people still use Skype these days. I only have it because he has it. I mean, a lot of my friends have said that I need to sit down, have a video call with him, and discuss what everything is going wrong. Because so far, as of the last couple weeks, my relationship has gone to shit. I know it's kind of a bad thing to say, but it's true. I honestly don't know what more I can do. I can only do so much. And he wants to sit there on his ass, play computer games all damn day. He can be my goddamn guest. But he's not going to roll past that with me when I'm over there with him. I'm going to be setting some ground rules. It's going to be simple to follow. It's not going to be that hard. But he thinks that was a joke too. When I told him I'm going to be setting ground rules when I'm over there with him. Of course, he made a joke about that. I'm like, I'm not joking. So pretty much, the thing with my husband is that he takes everything as a joke. The only thing he took seriously when he asked me to marry him. At first, I honestly wasn't sure. Is he mature enough? Does he have what it takes to take care of me? Because I have a lot of mental health issues. I have not been diagnosed with them, but I know I have some sort of bipolar. Because my emotions are all over the place. Like, one minute I'd be fine, and the next I'd just be depressed as hell. But honestly, that's just a daily life for me. I honestly have nothing new in my life anymore. Nothing new has happened yet. I think the next new thing is when I go overseas with him. So, keep in mind, you have to communicate. Otherwise, the relationship is dead. That's what kind of mine is right now. I know me and him are married and everything, but as far as I know, it feels like my relationship has gone to shit. I don't know what more I can do because I can only do so much, like I said earlier. I love that kid with my whole heart. I do. But sometimes he's just too much to handle. Just like I'm too hard to handle sometimes. I honestly don't know how he's tolerated me for almost 2 freaking years. I just don't really want to bring it on to people. I try not to rant as much, but in the end, it just feels good to do that. I actually hung out with my friends earlier today, like right after I got home from dinner with my dad. I went to see my friends for a little bit because my friend Lily was having a hard time as well. But I'm not going to go into detail with that. That's nobody's business. Not even mine. She just needed a friend to hang out with for a little while. And I just feel like sometimes people don't listen to me. Like they say they are, but they're actually not. Honestly, that's how my life is on a daily basis. Nobody listens to me, and then I get defensive and all that stuff. Just always remember to communicate, at least even a message. Just checking up on them. Like, if that were me, and if I were in the military and he wasn't, I'd be checking up on him all the time. Saying how's everything going and all that kind of crap and all that. Don't even know what I'm saying. And it's been a really, really long day. And honestly, is communication is the key. It's the key to a really healthy relationship. I mean, my relationship is not necessarily on good terms right now, but I know eventually it'll get better. It takes two to make things go somewhere. And I feel like I'm doing most of the work. It's just been a really hard week. I just wish my old Austin would come back to me. Austin has the Marine mentality that all United States Marines have. And that's not something I appreciate, because I don't deserve to be treated like that. I'm tired of not being listened to. At least give my voice a chance. I don't know why it's so difficult for people just to hear me out. Only a few people will actually hear me out. And the people that I want to tell, I say I'm having a rough time, I need to vent for a little bit. They don't even bother to say, what about this time? I don't like when people say that. And if I say it's about Austin, they're like, what did he do? Like normal people would. Just asking them what they did. And this is the second fight this week that we got into. And most of the time we fight about the dumbest things. Just like last night, he had a hard time saying, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. And instead, he's like, yeah, you're going to do it. And I'm like, really? So he got this bomb defusing game for $15. I'm like, why would you pay money for a game if it takes two and then one does not want to play? Because that was basically my situation last night. Every time he would ask me a question, because I have a hard time interpreting things. So it takes me a little while. I still wasn't getting it, and I said, I'm done. I'm effing done. And he just kept saying, no, you can do this, and blah, blah, blah. Basically forcing me to play a game that I don't want to frickin' play. And I kept raising my voice louder and louder and louder. Until he finally got it into his thick skull. I usually don't talk bad about him. Like, every time I talk about him, I say so many good things about him. And that how I'm excited to move over there with him. Which I am. We just have patches that we need to fix together. Because right now, our teamwork is not so good. I mean, we've only been married for a little over a month. But we're already starting to fight a lot. And we act like we've been married for a long time. But we've only been married for a month. So, just keep in mind, communication is the number one key in order to have a healthy relationship. You can't keep things to yourself because otherwise you'll explode. That's why I try not to keep things to myself. I told my friends everything because I hung out with them earlier. I ranted and I felt pretty good after that. I think it just helps to reach out to the right person. And obviously, my best friends are the ones I can rely on. Because when I feel like I have days of doubt, they're always there to pick me right back up. Austin's slowly getting back there. But it's just going to take a little bit of time and patience. But don't take this the wrong way. I do love him with everything that I have. I just want us to improve. Instead of going down to shit, we should be improving. Hopefully within the next month or two, when I get all this paperwork done, it'll be close for me to go out there with him for 3.5 years. So, again, don't take it the wrong way that making it seem like I don't love him and everything. I do. I absolutely do. I just needed a place to explain what was happening with us for the past couple of days. So, yeah, I love him with my whole heart, despite the fact that he gets on my nerves 24/7 and that he's been an asshole lately. Everybody has those days, including myself. I have those days quite a bit. So, right now, I'm going to be working on getting my mental health back up and putting me back on the right track. Instead of having my life be terrible for the rest of my life. So, I'm going to work on myself for a while. And I will get back to you guys whenever I'm feeling at least a little bit better. I'll talk to you later. See you later, guys.